Alright everyone, welcome to a review of Tekken 1 for the PlayStation. The Tekken series is, in my opinion, the best fighting game series ever. I'm a huge Tekken fan, avid Tekken 5 player, and this is a game that started it all, so I thought we'd go back and take a look at it. I own every single Tekken game except Tekken Advance, and this one is no exception. Oh, and just for JR, I went and tried to fix the speaker to my voice ratio in this one, but the sound of this game gave me some problems, so it didn't come out as well as I had expected. I hope everyone doesn't downvote and badmouth just because of that. That's the game's opening cinema, but I just went straight to the Fighter Select here. Alright, you got all your characters from the arcade version. Gang's all here. Pretty colorful cast. The only one I'm any remotely good at in this game is Lee, who's right now locked, and Kazuya. So we're going to pick Kazuya, and I'm going to show you a few matches. And then I'm going to switch over to Lee once I unlock him. Alright, the basic premise in Tekken is the game revolves around each button corresponds to a different limb setup, like you have a left punch, right kick, left kick, and using those in tandem with other buttons and combinations of joystick patterns allows you to execute special moves, and you can chain those together to make combos. Now this is the Tekken that started it all, so it wasn't exactly perfect yet. Like you had movement was a bit jerky in this one. You couldn't just walk smoothly toward your enemy, but I mean that got better as the series progressed. But at Tekken 1 it was at its worst. Right now I'm fighting what appears to be Pocahontas reincarnate, and now I'm going to fight Jack. Jack's basically your cyborg character. Look at his upper body to legs ratio. It doesn't match. A lot of the character models just look really goofy in this game. Like, okay, I'm coming up on my sub-boss. Like Law, his mouth is always open. Like you can see it at the Fighter Select screen, you can see it when you fight him. Law's mouth never closes. It's always hanging open. As you can see, I just got my... Okay, anyway, yeah, once you get to stage 8, you have to fight that character's sub-boss. And if you played all the way through with one character and you beat the game, you'll unlock that sub-boss once you get done watching the ending cinema. And I'm actually going to show you some playing as Lee too. This stage actually rocks too. You can actually pause the game and see the iceberg moving, which is kind of a neat effect. This game made it the greatest hits, of course. You know, it was a pretty revolutionary thing when it first came out because it was radically different from Virtua Fighter, as you can see. I mean, this game, in my opinion, has everything Virtua Fighter has except ring outs and a Jamaican or Bob Marley or whatever guy named Jeffrey. I guess that's kind of like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and Bob Marley combined into one for Virtua Fighter. Alright, now we've got the last boss, Heihachi, who I want to know who his hairstylist is, because, you know, I've never seen anybody pull that spiky hair look off. I don't know, maybe that's just low polygon count for this game, and they're like, hey, we got a few left, what do we do for his hair? Oh, let's just spike it. Oh yeah, the story for this game is a martial arts tournament where the winner becomes head of the Mishima Zaibatsu, which is a big company. And this is the last boss's son I'm playing with. Watch his ending. Alright, did you see that? Now, the early Tekkens weren't very friendly with the storyline, so unless you had done some research, you would have no idea what the significance behind that was. Especially some of these other endings you get. Also, a gripe I have is that none of the sub-bosses have endings. Like, they went out through all the trouble to make them playable in the PSX version, but they didn't give them endings. All the secret characters pretty much got the shaft. They did, however, gain lots of moves, though. If you use hacks to play as them in the arcade version of Tekken 1, they don't have any moves. Well, they do, but they're more or less just ghost versions of the other characters they're based off of. Like, in the early Tekken series, Lee here is based off Law, but he's a variation. He has a few moves Law doesn't have, namely the infinite kick chain. You know, King was always one of my favorite characters. They actually killed him off and replaced him with another guy named King in a storyline twist, because after Tekken 2, in order for Namco to get their new emo main character in there, Jin Kazama, they had to pass 15 years so the guy could grow up old enough to fight in the tournament. And that 15-year time jump just made everybody in Tekken old. I mean, by Tekken 8, they'll all be in wheelchairs fighting. I mean, Lee here is 25 in first Tekken. By the time Tekken 6 comes out in America, well, I mean, it's already out in Japan, so the storyline's there. He is 49 or 48. I mean, Kazuya, he's almost 50. Wang Jinrei is 100 years old. I mean, they should have had a better plot line than that. But anyway, this was Tekken 1 for the PlayStation, one of my favorite games. Take a look at these tips and go pick this game up. It's really worth it.
Lawwwwwww